Judah, hi. Greetings from Toronto, Canada. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. It's very nice to meet you in
Nice
Toronto,
to meet
Canada.
you. My goodness. Thank you for everything that you've given us. I appreciate the laughs big time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice to hear. The response that we're getting has been amazing.
Well, good because I've watched this and I'm always very fascinated with Pete Davidson. Ever since we first really got to meet him on SNL,
Yeah.
he was a kid, a young, still is. Like he's so young. It just amazes me what he's done in such a short period of time. When you worked with him on The King of Staten Island, what was it about him, Judah, that you just, what makes him so lovable? Why don't you love him?
I think that it's because Pete is very vulnerable as a person. He's very authentically himself and
Yeah,
uncensored. And I think that audiences that respond to him like really appreciate that level of authenticity that he provides his audience. Like he's very I think Bupkis is like a perfect example of like Pete fearlessly exposing and dramatizing aspects of, even though not everything in Bupkis is 100% true, there's a
yeah,
lot of very truthful issues and arcs and emotions that are being expressed in this show. And I think that that kind of unfiltered aspect of Pete is something that people really connect to. And it's why people that know and love him really appreciate him in their life so much.
yeah. I get that. And oh my God, the cast that you have assembled. I mean, getting Joe Pesci out of retirement because he's not been doing very much lately, and
Yeah.
he's so fantastic in this.
Yeah.
What was it like to have him on board?
I mean, I like to say that like Bupkis is feels like it's like a absurd fever dream of Pete's, what it's like to be in Pete's life, and our casting feels like a wonderful fever dream because it's like we have this assortment of people that feels almost impossible. It's like you say you want to cast Joe Pesci to play Pete's grandfather, and people tell you that that's impossible, but then it's like Pete's a dreamer, and somehow things that he dreams come true. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, like I think that Joe and Pete really connected. They really Joe almost developed like a real kind of grandfatherly type of love for Pete that
Yeah.
even went beyond the show. That what you see in the show, and is like really beautiful to see the mentorship that happens with Joe. But yeah, I mean, Edie Falco, Joe Pesci, Brad Garrett, Steve
On and
Buscemi.
on.
It's an embarrassment of riches. It's deeply humbling to have such world class actors elevate what we write, and yeah, I don't. It's hard to explain other than to say it's surreal, and it's very validating to have people show up and sign on to be a part of this.
Well, why wouldn't they? I mean, it's great material. So congratulations on that. Okay, I got to tell you. I mean, look, I know what bupkis means. My dad used to say it all the time. My grandparents, like everything's bupkis. It's bupkis. But for those who are not privileged or from the tribe, can you please
Yes.
explain what bupkis
Yeah, but
means?
the bupkis is a Yiddish term that means nothing, or I think it maybe loosely can mean nonsense, but it's like you don't know bupkis, meaning you don't know anything. You don't know bupkis about bupkis.
Yeah,
But we Pete's grandfather character was a very important character when we first started mapping out the show, and it was Pete's idea. It's a term that his actual grandfather would use, and it weirdly felt appropriate to the show. I don't Pete Davidson as a comedian to me feels like a comedian from another time, so Bupkis felt appropriate for him as
yeah.
well. But yeah, it's just something that we came up with it. We weren't sure if it would stick, if networks would be on board with a title like Bupkis, but it's something that
It's,
it seems to be a word that makes people smile, so people have
yeah.
rallied behind it, and I'm so happy that it's the title of the show.
It's a good thing Seinfeld never took that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it could have been called
It could
Seinfeld
have been called
bupkis.
the show about nothing, of course.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what? We were just talking about Pete, and like I said, and when he left SNL, to me, it just felt so kind of abrupt, something that I guess he just had felt that he needed to do. But it's so nice that Lauren Michaels is really just taking him, always have under his wing, and now is, doing this show. Well, how hands-on is Lauren when you work with somebody like a genius like him?
I mean, again, like that's another like again, like the to say it's like humbling to work with Joe Pesci and Edie Falco and Brad Garrett, to be, you know, mentored and guided by someone like Lorne Michaels is astounding. It's incredible. He is the master of the business, and like it's been honestly, it's been like an honor to learn from him, to have him weigh in on things. He is absolutely involved in this project in a hands-on way, and
Yeah.
it, like, you know, I think it means so much to Pete to have Lauren continue to be involved in his career, you know, post SNL.
I would think so. Well, listen, congratulations on everything. I loved Crashing too, by the way. So thank you
Uh,
for everything. And
thank,
best of luck to you with the series. I know Canadians are going to love it. And have a great weekend. Nice meeting you, Judah.
thank you. Canadians have good taste in comedy, so I
Well, we
appreciate
certainly
that.
do. Look how many
Yes,
we give you, right?
I know. Thank you.
Take it easy. Thanks for your
Thank you
time.
so much.